Hey, son, how's the job search go? Oh, great heavens.
Ah! 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 Ah!
Dad, I don't need a job. I already sell airbending courses. What's good, everyone? Today we're discussing the telekinetics of Instagram. Basically, it's a bunch of people who think they can move stuff with their mind, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. So as always, let's start with a post to introduce me to this rabbit hole. So the guy who posted this is named Michael Grubb, and he runs a business where he teaches you how to engineer reality and airbend. And by airbending, I mean pretending to control the wind and selling ludicrously expensive courses to teach you how to do this. So he basically sits around yapping for a whole minute until he starts to feel the wind coming on, and then he just starts shoving his hands forward like he's the one doing it. But what I find hilarious is that even though he has every opportunity in the world to get the perfect take, the bush still barely matches his hands. He's just waving randomly and pretending he's doing stuff on purpose. Like, look at it right here, man. The intern in the bush starts to get tired of holding it up and it starts to fall, and then he does this weird, like, Jedi arm thing to act like it was on purpose. It's so obviously fake, but he acts so purposeful about it. And at the end of the video, he puts this up at the top. Trolls and unreasonable skeptics are hilarious people. I like the healthy skeptic, but I don't like knuckleheads. And in the comments, Jesusthelivingsun is just like, oh, absolutely beautiful work, Michael. I can't believe people can't see the truth. And this guy is actually another huge name in the telekinesis gram community. And we'll get into him pretty soon. But I just find it so funny that he considers this proof. And despite Michael doing all of this, he's still the least unhinged guy in this video. And as for his actual message, I'm sorry Michael, but this is going to be a very knuckleheaded video, because you and your avatar buddies are getting up to some absolutely diabolical stuff, such as the courses you sell for ludicrous prices. Like, buddy, I am not paying $500 to sit around with you and push around pinwheels, dude, or $1,100 for a 3-day course. He has a lot of surprisingly large group pictures from the courses he sells. How are there this many people paying for this, dude? And a lot of times he even posts his students and their progress. Like, here's Evan taking like a class on how to like stop and start up a pinwheel. Like, can you imagine how long it took to get this take? I'm pretty sure these guys are serious. So when it doesn't work, do they think they're just not strong enough? Is he sitting here just like, can't believe it's not working yet, I need to focus more? And one of the comments points out, yeah, these pinwheels are kind of crappy and they start and stop all the time. And of course that gets no response. Can you imagine paying $500 to hang out with this dude, and all he teaches you is how to sit on the grass and do this?
What the hell? Oh my God, no way!
But as I said, Michael's not the only one at Evolve Ministries. Here are a couple of his other employees just begging people to send them footage of them doing stuff in order to give them legitimacy.
We at Evolve Ministry want to see your videos practicing self-mastery. Whatever it may be, practicing with the windmills, meditation, etc. Make a video, post it to your page, and make sure to tag us at Evolve Ministry.
Please, please, please post us so we don't look like a scam. And somebody actually did, and it was this. And what's so funny about this video is that you could hear the wind blowing hard as hell in the background. Like, what is this supposed to prove? Are they trying to be like, oh, look at this wind. We totally made it. And here's one of their instructors performing masterful airbending. Like, oh, this really makes me want to buy the course. Look what happens when it works. Look at that smile, dude. He is cheesing so hard. Like, can you imagine how long he had to sit here for this to actually work? Like, hard drive companies must love these people. Like, think about how much footage they have to take. But overall, this account is obviously a scam, because telekinesis isn't real. And the way I know this without a shadow of a doubt is because there are many, many rewards totaling millions of dollars to anybody who could prove they are telekinetic. So until one of these people goes and claims that reward, or even tries to claim it, I feel like they're intentionally scamming gullible people into giving them large amounts of money. And I just don't believe them. Speaking of things I don't believe, let's talk about the next person in the telekinesis gram rabbit hole.
So this is day one of me creating my own martial art, wind boxing. I've combined aerokinesis with the style of boxing to create a new, magical, revolutionary way of self-defense on this new earth. It's the evolutionary age of magic, and I will be teaching it on my Patreon along with other things.
So the guy who posted this is called Breeze the Creative. Breeze claims to be an airbender who can move objects with his mind powers, but in reality, as the name suggests, the real source of his powers is the breeze. And sometimes he'll make tactical, sneaky cuts to make it look more real.
Have you ever seen a man airbend and do push-ups at the same time? I don't think you have, but hey.
Like, at least try to hide the cut. Now to be fair, some of them are somewhat well put together, but other times it's a little shoddy, like this one where it takes him 4 whole force palms to get any bit of movement on this tree. Like come on bro, if it's taking you that many, your chakras clearly aren't aligned. Here, let me show you. Bet you can't do this, Breeze. Ah! Oh, what'd I do? It's been 5 minutes! I'm only 20, man. I can't go to jail! Say the line.
I was not hurt in the making of this video, and Roy Young is not legally responsible.
Okay, now say the other line.
Please go subscribe to Royal.
Alright, you're free to go. For now.
Huh?
Now, one of the funniest things about this account is that he insists that this works on literally everything, but like, he never can show it. Like, dude, look, if you can start throwing rocks at people and post that on Instagram, I will gladly eat my words. Please do not do this. I do not want to be responsible. But as of right now, I don't believe you. Because in this video, the tree is going the wrong way. Like, bro, if you're gonna claim to be an airbender, at least put the camera on the right side. Like, put more effort into it than this. Like, that's the bare minimum for scamming. Now, is he serious? I think so. As you'll see pretty soon, he has a really bizarre and expensive Patreon. So even if he is faking it, he's clearly trying to pass it off as real in order to get some money, and it's not just engagement bait. And also, there's a ton of people in his comments who take this stuff seriously. Like, the vast majority of the comments are memeing him to hell, but there's a really surprising amount that actually really do believe this stuff. And speaking of these comments, let's look at some. This is real. When I was off some strong shrooms at a state park called Devil's Lake, I was at the top of a cliff when I saw that air itself travels like a snake through the trees. You can most definitely control the power of wind. Wind is like a long serpent being itself traveling around the world. I just love how this dude's source is shrooms. You are not making a good case for the Instagram avatar community. Like, buddy was traveling around his state park on shrooms and he's just like, oh, this is so real right now. I'm definitely gonna remember this when I'm sober and use it in an argument. Like, I don't even trust my memory when I'm tired. And this dude is just like, oh yeah, I know I was on shrooms, but that was so real. And it's definitely gonna influence my worldview. And you know, maybe he's right. I thought all this was fake until I read this comment. This is utilizing quantum mechanics. He's using the wave, which is how everything works. Thank you. Someone in this comment section who actually understands science at a deeper level. I'm not even joking when I say this might be the dumbest and smuggest comment I've ever read in my life. Like, how do you say this with a straight face? But you know, clearly I'm the idiot, because I just forgot about quantum mechanics and the wave. Which is how everything works, by the way. Everything. The wave is how it works. But I fail to see how waving your arms at trees is utilizing quantum mechanics or the wave. Which is how everything works, by the way, in case you didn't pick up on that. But on a serious note, this is one of the weirdest comments I've ever read. And it's doing that thing that directors do when they can't explain the technology in their work. They're like, how do I explain teleportation? Oh yeah, we'll just throw quantum in the front. It's quantum teleportation. Stop asking questions. Like, if this was my friend, I would never let this guy hear the end of this comment. Like, how do you sit there and think, yeah, this comment is a banger. This is gonna prove my point. Don't get me wrong though, not everyone's on board with Breeze's methods. And it's hilarious because there's other supposed avatars who disagree with what he does. The craziest part is that abilities of the sort actually exist, and anyone can tap into those abilities with enough practice. Now, I'm not saying what homie is doing is legit telekinesis, but hey, I like to keep an open mind about it. Won't catch me hating on him like most of you. Like, they believe this stuff exists, but they also believe he's faking. Like, buddy, that is clearly an earthbender position. It's totally real, but this guy is wrong because he's doing the wrong stance. Like, come on, dude. And this dude over here is Breeze's #1 enemy. Like, he is totally sold that telekinesis is real, but his objection is that it's evil. Like, no, it couldn't be the wind or the wave, which is how everything works, by the way. Nah, it's the devil. Now, as for his #1 ally, this guy over here is his ride or die. In fact, he might even be stronger than Breeze himself. Good work, Airbender. How's your other elements coming along? Period instead of a question mark. I have advanced healing for ninjas. I'm the main avatar. I serve Jesus. I'd be honored to heal you and gift you fire bending and water bending and earth bending in my reels. Good luck, ninja. What the? Now, this guy isn't just a ninja. He's also a rapper.
First I play the flute, then I block with this katana do. First I play the flute, first I play the flute, then I block with this katana do. Ninja hands, ninja feet, get off me, man.
A true jack of all trades, master of everything. He's even a master of fashion. Check out this hat he has. Where does one even buy this, bro? This is one of the worst articles of clothing I've ever seen. Not only is it neon green screen green, but it's a fedora. Like, Who is making these? Like, is this part of a neckbeard Lloyd from Ninjago cosplay? Like, what the hell is this? But on a serious note, one of the most bizarre things about this community that I really can't find the answer to is, how does one come to these conclusions? Like, how do you come to the conclusion that you have advanced healing? Do you just, like, scrape your knee or something and see if it heals faster than someone else? Like, what? Back to Breeze, though, his powers don't end at airbending either. He's also a waterbender.
Whoa, close your eyes, close your eyes. Make it go down.
Something else kind of funny that they do is they sell wands. King Cobra reference? Yes, I said they. He has a girlfriend who he refers to as his twin flame, which is a term borrowed from some other weird new age pseudo cult. Blink twice if you need help. When my homegirl starts bashing how she looks, so I whip out my Venus wand that can instantly shift her energy and remind her of her inner beauty and dissolve any insecurities. When your friend is trying to open up to you because she trusts you, so you hit her with that spell of shut the fuck up. Hey, this fit goes crazy though. I'm tired of all this wand stuff. I better see you wandering down to a modeling agency and leave all the scamming stuff behind. Speaking of scams, let's talk about the Patreon pricing. The cheapest tier is $22 a month, and it's selling, like, meditation lessons and vegan recipes, which really isn't a big deal. That's not really a scam. But the later ones definitely are. He sells stuff like airbending scrolls and magical martial arts. Like, dude, if you try to use magical martial arts, based on the type of thing you see in this video, I don't think it's gonna work. Like, wow, I cannot wait to hit the ops with a light gust of wind. Oh yeah, and the most expensive tier is $555 a month, just to, like, learn stuff from this guy. But other than the telekinesis stuff, he's your typical new age spiritual guru, and he sells a lot of courses related to that. And don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against spirituality as a whole, and if it does good things for you, that's great. And it can be especially useful when it comes to, like, meditation and mindfulness and just, like, being in control of your thoughts. But it gets to a point. Tua? Hawk Tua? Like, for real. If you're going to claim that you have spiritual powers that can affect the real world, you kind of have to prove that, or I think you're scamming. And ironically, I feel like these people are the ones actually disrespecting these spiritual beliefs. I looked into a lot of the beliefs that they proclaim, such as, like, Kundalini awakening and chakras. And typically they're much more about, like, your own internal thoughts and emotions. They're not really about trying to control the outside world with superpowers. In fact, I couldn't find a single actual religion or belief that says telekinesis is real. I mean, let me know if I'm wrong, but, like, I couldn't find a single one, so somewhere down the line, some new age spiritual guru just made something up. On a larger scale though, Breeze is part of the, like, new age spirituality trend. And personally, I take issue with a lot of new age spirituality because a large portion of it is very hyper monetized and fake in America especially. As so many new age spiritual gurus, from what I've seen, seem to just either be making stuff up or mishmashing and stealing existing ideas, putting them all into one thing, and then selling these things to people who are desperately searching for meaning. And it's so, like, egotistical, like they're trying to pass themselves off as some knowledgeable spiritual teacher who deserves their money. And Breeze is no different. Here he is advertising booty hole yoga for clearing the root chakra, which he directly and shamelessly stole from the ancient monks of the Taco Bell bathroom. On a serious note though, yes indeed, the courses on his Patreon are just a mishmash of existing ideas. Like, here he mentions Mother Kai, the ancient Sumerian god of the earth. Here he mentions chakras, which are kind of a Buddhist concept. And here he mentions aliens, and how anime is galactic history. Huh? What is going on? What ideology even is this? Like, how do you come to these conclusions? And if you genuinely from the bottom of your heart believe this, I don't think it's a huge deal to sell courses on it, but, like, there's no way he doesn't know what he's doing. Like, come on. But on a serious note, how do you, like, justify to yourself charging $555 a month for something? Especially as nebulous as anime's galactic history. Like, in my last video, I put a link to my football fundraiser in the description, and the money didn't even go to me, and I still felt a little weird doing that. And this dude's over here just like, dude, if you drop half a band on me, I will teach you how to push tinfoil. Like, buddy, I can do that for free. In fact, I can do it on heavier objects. Not when anyone's watching, though. I can teach you, though, for sure. Just pay me a couple bucks, and if it doesn't work, that clearly means you're just not trying hard enough. Speaking of pushing tinfoil, though, this dude has a literal group of friends called the Powerhouse, who all are supposed airbenders. And they post, like, training montages and tinfoil battles. And let me just say, I'm genuinely jealous. Like, how do you have such a niche interest as airbending and find 5 people to do it with you? I don't even have one friend who plays Team Fortress 2 in real life. And he's able to find a bunch of other telekinesis enthusiasts. Like, how is that fair? Breeze is the only one that I've seen that is, like, heavily monetized, though. Some of the other guys sell courses or products, but they're not $555 a month. Which, you know, pocket change for a guy like me, but, you know, not everyone's stacking bread, they can't afford that. Now, from what I could tell, the same as in Breeze's comment section, they seem to be completely serious. It's very possible that it's one big troll, but even if they are trolling, the fact that they're demanding money for this sort of thing is really gross to me anyway. And apparently Breeze actually has 5 paying members on his Patreon, which, like, maybe they're just there for the vegan recipes and not the Naruto history book, but who knows. Now, the second member of the powerhouse is Jesusthelivingsun. It's not Jesus, it's pronounced Jesus. And his videos are typically a little more convincing than Breeze. He seems to have a higher power level, and I'm guessing he's the leader of the group until someone has a higher power level than him. Like, look at this one, man. Like, I know it's just a coincidence, and in some of his videos, like, he'll see a leaf storm in the background, make like a quick cut so it doesn't look like he already noticed it, and then start moving his hands. But like, still, maybe I'm the one who's wrong here. Just like Breeze, though, he also claims that all humans secretly have latent superpowers that you can learn from his course. And from what I've seen researching this community, it seems that Jesusthelivingsun is like the central hub of telekinetics. Like, he posts all sorts of like highlight tape from the whole community. Like this one where he's pointing his hand at the water and making waves. Because that's how everything works, by the way, in case you didn't know. Like, could it be the wake from the boat? Nah, it's obviously water bending. And I don't know if you've noticed before, but conspiracy theorists have a huge obsession with like healthy eating, which, don't get me wrong, healthy eating is great. I think a lot of modern food sucks. But in the comments, they're like, oh, dude, reason why they trying to keep us distracted and adding all the chemicals to the food. As if McDonald's is preventing you from just moving the ocean or something. Like, you know why Moses part of the Red Sea? Yeah, it's because he didn't eat seed oils. And like, dude, if moving tinfoil is the extent of your powers, is that even worth training at that point? Like, yeah, dude, I spent years of my life working on my craft, and I can finally knock over a water bottle. But only if it's in arm's reach. Like, at that point, just pick it up. Why even learn this? I have better stuff to do. And it's especially funny when he says that our auric fields are weaker indoors due to the Freemason architecture preventing the flow. I love how close he is to getting it, but he just somehow evades logic. He's all like, walls prevent our auric flow. Could it be that our auric flow is the wind? Like, nah, obviously the Freemasons are just trying to stop us from using the wave. Which is how everything works, by the way. But like, what would non-Freemason architecture look like? Would it just be like a gazebo to let in the wind? Speaking of Freemasons, why are these guys in like every video I've made? I feel like somehow every person I've talked about has mentioned them at some point. But for whatever reason, Telekinesis Graham has a huge overlap with Conspiracy Graham. A lot of Grahams today. Not as many as these people are off of, though. This guy is another Instagram airbender, and for some reason his powers only work, again, on tinfoil and leaves. But for whatever reason, his powers don't work on light switches, because all of his videos are dark as hell. Like, bro spent his power bill on Breeze's course, and this is all he got in return. And what's funny is that as he's gotten stronger, his videos have gradually gotten darker. Did you sell your soul to get tinfoil powers? Why are you posting this from purgatory? Is this the dark zone Gregor Fancy was talking about? But like I was saying, a lot of the telekinetics are big into conspiracies and generally just have a wacky worldview. I genuinely do think this guy needs help, though, as in his most recent post, he said that Borg is looking for him, and it's just a picture of the sky. And then the one right before that, he's taking a picture of his thumb, but I guess the flash was on because it's glowing super white. Well, I hope it's his thumb. I just find it so funny, though, because, like, imagine he's right, and just at random times he starts glowing, and we're the ones who are wrong. Maybe that's why his lights are always off. Actually, imagine everyone here is right, and they're all just gonna get their revenge on me one day. And you know, if I was a piece of tinfoil, I would be terrified. And under this post, he has a comment from quite an interesting guy named REAL Dariush. I think that's how you pronounce it. And you know, I thought this was a fake Dariush. I didn't believe it at first, but no, he's the real deal. Now, Dariush is similar to Jesusthelivingsun in that he's basically a telekinesis instructor, and he posts like the highlight tapes of his clients. But before we get into his posts, I want to address one thing, and that's I think it's really gross if this guy frequents the comment section of the previous guy I just showed you. Because the previous guy obviously is struggling with mental issues, and this dude is taking advantage of that by trying to trick him into something that obviously is not real. Like, oh, look at this guy going through actual psychosis. Let's further his delusions so I look more credible, despite the fact that I'm manipulating someone that's probably struggling with mental illness. But for whatever reason, Instagram promotes a lot of people who are going through psychosis because people will engage with their content, and all the comments think it's hilarious to be like, oh, you get this man a weapon, get this man in Congress, because like, haha, funny. And if manipulating struggling people to do insane things is something that appeals to you, I think you need help as much as they do. So yeah, Dariush, that's gross. I think you're being gross. But I also think you're hilarious. Let's take a look. So he has a story collection called 4 Critics, where he posts a video of someone turning on a faucet, like, extremely slowly. It takes him 6 whole stories to even get, like, any movement. Like, wow, you really show the critics, man. Maybe your sink just sucks and it won't stay closed. Yeah, buddy, that's right. your sync is terrible. Let that sink in. Actually, no, don't let it in, because it's terrible. But again, as most telekinetics are, Dariush is also really big into like new age style spirituality, and he also sells courses on something called telekinesisuni.com, and he teaches you techniques such as the mind bomb and pyrokinesis. Oh yeah, one more thing I really dislike about new age spirituality, and I'll probably make a whole video about it eventually because it is everywhere on Instagram, is their like obsession with non-traditional medicine. Like this person says you can heal ovarian cysts by healing all traumas from this life, past lives, and of your ancestors. Could you get surgery? Nah, you gotta heal your past life traumas. And what's so convenient about that is they get to get paid without actually having any sort of medical expertise or any knowledge they can actually pass down, but they can pretend they do. Like, yeah, dude, I'm sure your thyroid is blocked because you are having troubles with self-expression. Yeah, pay me some money, go outside and start screaming, and it'll definitely go away. And honestly, you get the deal by now. There's really not much to say about these people. This video is nowhere near an exhaustive list of all these accounts. And it's honestly hilarious to me just how many there are out there, and that I couldn't even fit into here. And I wouldn't really have an issue with it. It's a little goofy to me, but I wouldn't have an issue with it if it wasn't so predatorily monetized. But hey, if y'all are watching this, go ahead and prove me wrong. Like, if you go collect that reward money, I will eat my words. I will write it down on paper, I will blend it in a smoothie, and I will drink that. But it's not gonna happen. And until then, I consider it to be either delusional or a scam. Alright y'all, that's all I got. Like and subscribe or Breeze is gonna hit you with that dollar store aerokinesis. Later. Oh my gosh, is he waving? That's how everything works!